rather Pierre Benazet, excuse me, joining us from Brussels. Pierre, is this it? Is this the big the big breakthrough we've been waiting for months now?
Seems to be. I mean, you've heard actually Dave Keating speaking about it quite a lot. The negotiations have been quite intense in the past week or so, and especially on Sunday night when negotiators finished about 3 a.m. In the morning. And what they say in Brussels is not exactly what they say in London, which is London, the government issues are communicating that the deal is struck. In Brussels, they are still very cautious, saying that they sent to London a stable text, a stabilized version of the state of negotiations. They are still very wary of any new development that could happen in Britain in the next hours. They know that Theresa May has to sell anything that's been discussed here, anything that's been negotiated here has to be sold to the cabinet members. Remember, it's going to be a full cabinet meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock in London. So the Europeans are still quite aware that the content of this deal will have to be presented in a light that will agree with all the cabinet members, especially on this question, this still unresolved question that was the Irish border. That's where the negotiators seem to have struck a deal in the past 24 hours. There would be an Irish-wide customs union, but which is called the backstop, this security net, if you will, which the Europeans want to use in order not to recreate a border between Ulster and Era. And this security net, this backstop, could be submitted to a sort of exit clause, which would not bind the UK forever to this deal if no other magical miracle solution is to be found.
Yeah, temporary arrangement for the time being. It's still a bit vague. Pierre, I got to pick up on what you said earlier. Lots of reactions, including the number 2 of the DUP, the Ulster Unionist, the DUP, which is the Unionist party in Northern Ireland, which is propping up Theresa May's government. It's a minority government that she has, saying this is going to be a very, very hard sell. And another remark from hard Brexit backbencher Jacob Rees-Mogg, saying Northern Ireland would be more under the control of Dublin than Belfast. He's against the deal. And the UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson saying, quote, "This deal is vassal state stuff." Sounds like that meeting where you are in Brussels won't happen if there's enough dissent within the cabinet before.
It seems that the Europeans have always believed that they were able to sell a deal to Theresa May and to the negotiators since David Davis exited the negotiations. They always knew that it was going to be a tough sell. They know that the main fears of the hardline Brexiteers is that there would be a divide between Northern Ireland and Great Britain. They all know that those people want, well, this line in politics, want to keep the UK as a whole with no difference, especially the DUP you were referring to. And that's why this exit clause on the backstop, which sounds very technical and very specific, would be the main argument for a sale there. And if that really happens, if Theresa May is able to convince, as Europeans do hope, to convince the full cabinet of the validity of the text, then we would see maybe a special Brexit summit on the 23rd of November here in Brussels, in time for governments, in time for the individual parliaments to prepare for ratification between now and the 29th of March. Bearing in mind that this is still the first step of negotiations, because they still need to prepare for the future EU-UK relationship. And the Europeans today, they just happen to prepare their scenarios, publish their scenarios for a no deal. So everybody is still very cautious here. Everybody's waiting for the green light from London.
Pierre Benazet reporting from Brussels, and you can